Welcome to The Explainer. If you're caring for someone with dementia, then you already know just how incredibly difficult delusions can be. So today we're going to lean on a fantastic guide from Connie Chow over at DailyCaring.com. Our goal? To give you some really practical, compassionate ways to handle these tough moments. Wow. Yeah, if you've ever had a moment like that, you know just how gut-wrenching it is. It can really shake you. And that's exactly why we're doing this explainer, to give you a clearer path forward when you find yourself in these bewildering situations. Okay, first things first. We have to get our heads around what's actually going on. You see, these aren't just little blips of confusion. For the person you're caring for, these delusions, well, they are 100% their reality. And this is the absolute key to everything we're going to talk about. To them, it is real. The disease is literally changing their brain, making it play these awful tricks. It's not a choice, and they're not trying to hurt you. It's just the reality their brain is serving up in that moment. So what's our natural instinct, right? It's to jump in with facts, with logic. We want to correct them. But here's the thing. That is almost always the exact opposite of what you should do. This chart right here just perfectly illustrates that disconnect. It's like you're speaking two different languages. You offer a logical fact, but because of the damage to their brain, they feel it as an attack. It doesn't calm them down. It just ramps up the fear and the agitation. Logic, sadly, has left the building. And that brings us to the single most important tool in your entire toolkit. It's a game-changing technique, and it's called validate and redirect. Simple, but so powerful. So how does it work? It's pretty straightforward. Step 1, you acknowledge their feelings. Now listen, you're not agreeing that there are spies in the closet. You're agreeing with the emotion. You're saying, wow, that must be so scary. Then, step 2, you reassure them. You get on their team. You become their ally. And finally, you gently pivot their attention to something else, something more pleasant. All right, let's get practical. We're going to open up the playbook and look at some specific word-for-word responses for 4 of the most common delusions you might run into. Oof, this one's tough. This often comes from a place of pure panic. It's that fight-or-flight instinct kicking in because they've been startled, even if you were just trying to help them put on a sweater. The strategy here is all about de-escalation. You're hitting the brakes on that fear response. By backing away, softening your voice, you are showing them with your body and your words, I am not a threat. You're trying to break that fear cycle before it spins out of control. Okay, this one just plain hurts. It's absolutely heartbreaking to hear. But it is so critical in this moment to not argue. Insisting, but I'm your son or I'm your wife, it's only going to make them more confused and more afraid. You see what's happening here? These responses validate their need for that familiar person without starting a fight. And here's a pro tip for you. Sometimes, just leaving the room for 60 seconds and then walking back in can act like a total reset button. It's amazing how often that works. This kind of paranoia is really common. And, it can be triggered by the simplest things. A shadow in a hallway, a reflection in a dark window. To their brain, that can easily look like a person lurking in the corner. The goal isn't to prove them wrong. The goal is to make them feel safe right now. You become their protector. By taking action in their reality, you're not addressing the intruder. You're addressing the fear. And the fear is the real problem. Ah, yes, the bugs. Let me tell you, arguing about whether or not there are bugs on the plate is a losing battle. You will not win it. Instead, this is your moment to be a creative problem solver. You see the pattern, right? You're validating the problem. Oh my gosh, bugs, that's awful. And then you immediately offer a solution. This gives them back a sense of control, it empowers them, and it solves the immediate crisis so you can both move on. So let's kind of pull back for a second and see how all this fits together. Because learning these little tricks, it's really about more than just getting through a tough moment. What you have now is a real practical toolkit. These are strategies you can use to bring the temperature down in the room, to handle things with empathy, with grace. And that lowers the stress for everyone involved, especially you. And please, above all else, remember this. You are not alone on this journey. And you are doing an absolutely incredible job navigating one of the hardest things anyone can do. So please, be kind to yourself. And we'll leave you with that final question from the source material at DailyCaring.com. It's a great reminder that caregivers are a community, a resource for each other, all sharing and learning together. Thank you so much for joining us for this explainer.